Alright, a little update on the Turbo Sierra here. Went ahead and got the little 4.8 out. Ran pretty good. It had the cam crank correlation or whatever, which is typically due to the distributor, and as you can see, it's probably why it was given a code for that. Not even bolted right there. Doesn't even have the bolt like it does right here. Not even tight. I can loosen it with my fingers. But look at this gem. I've never seen that before. They gracefully welded a knock sensor to this nut right there, or a bolt rather. Very interesting. All the bolts on the bell housings were incredibly tight. This engine was, allegedly just put in this truck, and they did a pretty good job, I guess. All the bolts were there, and the ones that were extremely tight. They used an 18mm bolt on the converter, and one of them, I guess it was the way it was positioned and the weight on the flex plate. I couldn't get the ratchet in there real good. It kept trying to round off, so I had to get a long socket and a bunch of extensions and get my impact on it and get it from the front. But you can see it's got the junkyard numbers on it. I got a little leakage problem. It's been raining all day, and the grade out there is such that it kind of runs in the door, so when it dries up I got to get the tractor out and kind of fix that, because I'm soaked. But luckily it's 77 in December, so that makes it good. Otherwise I would have quit a long time ago. Here's the wiring harness from the 4.3 fuse box and all. I've never done a V6 to V8 conversion in one of these trucks, but I hear it's pretty simple and straightforward. There's the 4L60 down there. Allegedly it's rebuilt too. God, it's such a pain. It's nasty. All that yuck. Got a junkyard compressor too. See the numbers on it? The antifreeze smelled horrible. I don't know what it was. I pulled the drain plug out of the radiator and absolutely nothing came out, and I was like, wow, that's great, because I drove it down the road and the temp looked okay and everything, but if there's not water touching the sensor, it's not going to read properly. But then when I got all the hoses off and pulled the bottom hose off, it was like Mount Vesuvius, and went everywhere, and has a very strange smell to it. It's not like a blown head gasket, but just a weird coolant smell. So we got that out. Oh, and one more thing. This truck's a manual shift from the factory. It's got the shifter in the floorboard, and this is an electric shift transfer case, so there was no way to select four-wheel drive. But one sign of a good mechanic is they use this orange silicone and just blob it on surfaces that don't supposed to have silicone. It's all over the transmission pan. If you can see it, I mean, they just gobbed it on that pan. So anyway, the rear U-joint was toasty, so I need to replace it. What the mechanic said was that the reason it wouldn't drive or work was something with the VSS wasn't communicating with the computer or something. So when I was pulling out the wiring harness over here, he had, let's see if I can find it. he had this wire was stripped in. I don't know where he was trying to run it to, but it was dangling under the truck. But there was some bare wires here. See that purple wire right there? I don't know if you can see it, but bare wire, and he had it wrapped around that and laying under the truck. So I'm sure that was great. But anyway, so now I get it cleaned up, get everything out, and get the Escalade in here and strip it, and then get it all in here and lay out my wiring and everything and start trying to get this bad boy going.